Welcome back to the Better Everyday podcast, where we are unlocking our best self one episode at a time. My name is David Garcia, and this is my beautiful wife, Grace Garcia. What is that?
You're just talking so fast.
Okay, the reason why I'm talking fast is because my wife was like, you have 30 minutes to do this episode because I need my rest from my marathon. And so I'm trying to go fast.
Keep going. It's good. It's good.
Okay, well, anyways, we are now in March. Today is March 4th, 2026. We are in marathon week. So in 4 days, we will be doing our full marathon. And also March is your birthday month. Oh, come on. Seriously? All right. We got interrupted by a technical difficulty. But anyways, we are in your birthday month.
Yes.
We are in Araya's birthday month. So this is quite an eventful month of March. But yeah, we are 4 days away from our marathon. How are you feeling about that?
Honestly, I feel as if post 25 miles. So I don't know if I ever said this on podcast, but I did 25 miles. Mind you, I did 10 miles first, stopped because I didn't feel safe in the location, ate some food, and then I ran the rest. But I was feeling confident because regardless, like my body endured 25 miles that day. Mm-hmm. And so that had me feeling good. But then after you don't really recover. Like I kept working out. I have done the 10 miles after that, like the tapering runs. So I am tired. I'm tired. I'm done. I didn't even want to run today. Haven't been wanting to strength train my legs. And just trying to mentally prepare because those hills, everyone talks about the hills online. And so my goal, though, is to have fun with it. People have been saying, like, see it as a celebration of all your training, not as, like, are you capable? Like, you've trained. There's nothing you could do now. The training part is done, and so time to celebrate, like, and have fun. Because I feel like the half marathon, I wasn't having fun until, like, the second half. And this time I'm like, I want to take it all in. They say you go through awesome, scenic LA routes, that the spectators are like never before. The hype is so real that I think miles 7 or 8, they pass out like chili dogs, and they're known for it. I guess it's like a thing, like the LA chili dogs.
And mile 7 is so early.
I know,
that's
what people
though.
say. Like if you have a tummy made out of steel, but I've seen there's like people's TikToks where they're saying, I'm running LA Marathon. And there's people in the comments saying like, I'm a spectator. You'll see my dog. He wears this. And we're always there on, like, it seems like they have a faithful spectator group that are genuinely excited. Like LA is excited for this.
Yeah.
And so I'm trying to remind myself, like, I can't do any more work. Like, just have fun, enjoy it. And we're going to see what I'm made out of.
Yeah, I have not been nervous. I haven't trained properly. I've been going through another injury. I've been dealing with it since December. December was my last long run, 12 miles. Haven't run long since then. The longest run that I've done was, I think yesterday I did 4 miles. No pain, so signs are looking okay. The doctor gave me this game day pill. It'll last 4 hours. It'll give me superpowers, yada, yada, yada. And you've been like for a while, like, I'm nervous. I just want it to be over and blah, blah, blah. And I keep telling you, like, homegirl, just relax. It's just another challenge. And the whole time I've been telling myself that, like, we've climbed mountains. We've hiked for 8+ hours. We've done half marathons. We've done challenges. I've done the high rocks. Like, we've done hard things. So I'm just like, this is just another thing on the list. And if I could do everything that I did before, I could do this. It's not a big deal. But today, for whatever reason, just like perfect timing or something, I have this Facebook friend group or Facebook group. It's dedicated to LA Marathon. So there's thousands of people that are part of that group. And today, again, perfect timing. I see this one post that this lady is like, hey, I'm driving into the LA Marathon and I'm wondering, do you guys think, this is my first marathon, so do you guys think that I should stay there after the race, or do you guys think I'm okay with driving home? and everybody and their mamas were like, you need to stay there. And then like I saw some people, because I'm like, okay, what if she's driving from like, I don't know, Arizona or whatever, Utah. And I'm like, okay, yeah, like why would you stay here? And they were asking her like, where are you driving in from? And she said Inland Empire. And that's like what, like an hour, two hours tops. And I'm like, what? And everyone's still telling her, just stay here. You'll like regret driving home. A couple of people were like, I did it. And it was like, I would never do that again. And it started making me nervous. I'm like, what pain am I going to feel after this race? And that's the only thing that it's starting to like make me nervous. I'm like, I know that I could do this, but what am I going to feel like after? And I mean, me and you have climbed mountains. And I think the worst that we felt is, what was the mountain that we did? Was it Mount Wilson? But we did like this weird route going up Mount Wilson. And when we got home, we were both like, oh man, like we're pretty sore. But it wasn't like, well, for you, I think it was, well, either you were acting crazy or like it was pretty bad for you. Because you remember you were like, I want nothing to do with you. And I was just like, yo, like, and then the next day, I don't feel like we were like that sore. Mm-mm. And so I'm like, okay, is it going to be worse than that? And I'm like, 26 miles. I'm like, it's just running. Like, yeah.
It's just running.
Yeah, I mean, but.
It's nonstop. I feel like because you say that, like we've done mountains before. I feel like walking, which is kind of what hiking is.
Walking with 4,000 feet of elevation gain?
I don't know. I feel like walking and running are two different things.
Nah.
I can hike, and I've never been nervous about a hike in my life.
Doing a hike, like a mountain hike that we've done, is like doing the Stairmaster for 4 hours nonstop.
I don't know, maybe because I feel like you're going at a low pace. Like,
yeah, it's slower.
I've never worried about like time.
You've never worn a heart rate monitor going up there. I guarantee you if you wore one, you'd be like, oh, dang, like my heart rate is shooting up.
I don't know. But I've told David I have like mantras in my head of like when I feel weak, I'm just going to repeat to myself.
I don't know if I'm running it with anybody, so this is going to be the first time that I'm going to take my my Shocks earphones. But I'm not going to play anything until like I actually feel like I need to.
I never play anything until halfway through. So you should
calm down.
Calm
down.
No, I'm just saying because first I hear
some written rule.
Because first people say like it dies towards like the end when they need it.
Yeah.
And then it gives me something to look forward to. And for some reason, like, well, you ran with me where once I listen to music, like I get my second wind. So I'll be like tired. I try to get myself tired and I look forward to that halfway mark. And then I'm like, oh, I put the music on and it's like I'm running a brand new race. And so I'm not going to do it until after the half marathon.
I've never run a race with earphones. Never.
That's crazy.
But
I mean, 13 miles.
I've always just fed off of like, I love seeing the people and them cheering for you. They don't even know you, but they're cheering for you.
So you're going to love LA. I hear LA is like
yeah. That's why I'm taking it just in case.
Yeah.
But for the most part, I don't think I'm going to use it. Like, I'm just going to be feeding off of everybody's energy.
And that's the phrase I'm telling myself with like extra food. Because you're underfueling. And I'm like, I'm just going to feed off of everyone's.
Yeah, that's I don't know if I'm grabbing any stranger stuff. Like,
it's LA Marathon.
Listen, you
have to.
I think it's the difference between the way that we were like raised. I think your family was, especially your mom, was very always trusting of people and giving them the benefit of the doubt. My parents were the complete opposite. You don't trust anybody.
That's crazy.
And so that's like wired in me. And that I've had moments where I'm like, oh, that looks good. And I'm just like, nah, bro. Like if they did anything to it, or maybe not even intentionally, but if they didn't wash their hands when they made it or whatever, like I'm like, heck no, I'm not gambling with that.
So you never got like donut holes?
I've never gotten nothing.
The half marathon, I remember, again, it wasn't until the second half where I was like, I saw oranges and I'm like, that would be so good. And it hit the spot. Those orange slices.
Were they already peeled?
Yeah, they were half, like the smile ones you put in.
Okay.
So you just like, and then throw away the peel. And then towards the end, I was not getting much because I was worried about my belly. And they say like, don't eat anything that you're not used to.
Yeah.
The orange slices though, I was like, okay, it's fruit. Like how bad can it be, right? and it hit the spot. So I had 2 of them. And then about like 2 miles before the finish line, I saw donut holes, and I'm like, if my stomach hurts, like I'm already there. So I had donut holes, and I was like, oh, that's when I started having fun with it. And I was like, like cheering people, like high-fiving people. But this time I already know after probably 15 miles, if I'm hungry, I'm just going to grab everything I can see.
Yeah, it's going to be crazy.
It's going to be fun.
It's going to be fun. It's going to be crazy. What?
Just keep talking.
Anyways, it's going to be fun. For me, it's a
sign.
It's going to be fun. It's going to be crazy. For me, it's going to be a little nervous. Again, I have not ran more than 12 miles in the last 8-ish weeks or something like that. I haven't ran more than 4 miles in the last couple of weeks. Like, I've been still doing leg workouts, which I'm hoping that like it serves some sort of purpose where my legs can last a little longer. But I mean, you're running for 26 miles nonstop. Like your muscle fibers are breaking down. And although, you know, you're taking energy gels and you're fueling with carbs and all this stuff, like your muscles are still breaking down. And so I'm really worried that, you know, my legs are like, we can't stand that long. I don't know what it's going to look like. I don't know if at one point I'm going to like be walking. I don't know if at one point I'm going to be thinking like I should just quit and walk off and, I don't know, call somebody to come pick me up or something. Like I have no idea. The only thing that I know is I'm like, I've done hard things. I could do this hard thing, whether it's walking, crawling, whatever. Like I'm going to cross this finish line. And yesterday, I was making a video for the Better Every Mile Instagram, and I just started thinking, I'm like, you know what? This one goes out to like all the people that really planned to do something amazing, like to accomplish something big, but life threw a curveball. And it's like, there's so many things that you can control in your life, but there's some things that you just can't. And when that happens, like, how are you going to react to it? How are you going to respond to it? Like, what responsibility are you going to take? Are you going to take action? And so, like, I kind of want to, like, I don't know if I'm like putting this weight on me just so I can have more motivation to be like, okay, you already put this out there. Like, now you have to cross a line for everybody. Like, regardless if it's 6, 7, 8 hours or whatever, like, you have to cross that line. But yeah, I really want to just be able to cross that line and be like, this is what real life looks like. We have plans change, but that doesn't mean like we quit. It doesn't mean that we stop. It doesn't mean that we say like, oh, maybe next year, you know, like we still move forward. And when I cross that line, it's going to be my first marathon ever. So that's going to be my baseline. That's going to be the slowest I ever do a marathon. And it's only up from there. So.
That's good.
Yeah. And that kind of ties in with the topic that I have for today. The topic that I have for today comes from this book that I read called Beyond High Performance by Jason Jaggard, I think it is. The book is really good. It's for people who are achievers, people who want to perform high or already perform high. And he kind of just talks about certain adjustments. But what I want to get down to is there's chapter 9 in that book, and it speaks about 2 different people. It is the sailor and the rower. And so that's kind of what I want to talk about today, and kind of have like a subcategory of a topic that goes along with all this. But a rower or a sailor. So to give some context very quickly, I don't want to make you too tired for the marathon, because Grace is actually doing something called, what is it, sleep banking or something?
I haven't done it. I'm trying.
You've had an opportunity to do it, but you haven't done it. Sleep banking. She's trying to like put sleep in the bank, but
Yes.
homegirl just.
I'm busy.
Lynn likes to be on her phone. Anyways, let's go back to the topic. So a sailor or a rower. So a sailor is basically somebody who is in their space and sees the opportunities that are presented to them. They see how mainstream is moving. They see how the current is moving. They see how the winds are moving, and they basically put up their sails and they just go with the wind. They go with the current. They go with whatever is easiest and wherever they feel like they can thrive. Whereas the rower is somebody that does not care about how the wind is moving, how the current is moving, how people are moving, what people are saying. They don't care about nothing. They are like, I'm going to make this happen, whether the atmosphere or the environment helps me or not. I'm going to make it happen. So the rower is clearly putting in all the work. They have the muscle power to do it. They have the muscle power to go against the current if they feel they need to. And so that's what I want to talk about, because I feel like there's a lot of people that are on both sides. There's some of them are rowers and some of them are sailors. Like, if I asked you, what do you think you are? What would you say?
I think a sailor.
You think you're a sailor? Really? Interesting. Why do you say that?
Because I feel like as you were talking, I just pictured in my mind the rower, like just kind of out of nowhere being like, I'm gonna, I don't know, like make a way in this, and no one around them is in that field, or no one around them has put that idea in their head. Versus me, I feel like I've been in environments where like I saw this, or like someone I knew or something like led the way.
Let me give another scenario. Both people walk into a room and the sailor goes, what jobs are available for me? And they look at the jobs and they go, okay, which one's the best one for me? All right, I picked that one. The rower will go into that same room and see the job opportunities and be like, maybe they like one of the options and maybe they go with it. But maybe they don't like any of the options and they go, no, that's not what I want. I want that one. And whether that door is open or not, I'm going to work for that door to open. Does that change your answer? And the reason why I ask you is because you've always kind of had and portrayed this aura about you that you're a hustler, that you'll make things happen when you want them to happen. And so that's why I'm like, it's very surprising that you said sailor.
I feel like though a sailor, I mean, mind you, I don't know much about sailing, but you can still go against the current.
Well, in this context, we're talking about a sailor that relies completely on their surroundings and the atmosphere.
Then yeah, maybe I'm a rower.
Hold on. Let me just... The rower is very straightforward. The rower is very, very straightforward. But okay, listen. When it comes to energy, I like to say this is a excerpt of the chapter 9 of this book, Beyond High Performance. So when it comes to energy, I like to say that there are usually two types of people, sailors and rowers. Or sailor, natural inclination is to orient themselves towards where they have innate momentum. They may ask, where are the doors open? Where is the path of least resistance? They love for things to be natural. They go with the flow. They see a world filled with opportunities. They make choices based on what's exciting to them. Sailors do an excellent job of designing their life around things that excite them and energize them. Words that sailors will often use to describe situations are feels expansive, fun, and enjoyable. Sailors are great at tapping into energy systems that are already there. They harness the wind that's already blowing.
And what about rowers?
Rowers. Okay, so this paragraph says if Chris is, because it tells a story about an example of a rower or of a sailor. So if Chris's story represents a classic sailor, Andrew Ladd's story represents the classic rower. In contrast to sailing, rowers make things happen. They aren't waiting for the wind to blow. Strong current, no problem. They have the muscle to row against it. They love words like hard work, grit, resilience, and sweat. If sailors are hoisting sails and sitting back, feeling the wind, rowers are gripping their oars tight, plunging them into the heavy water and forcing progress with or without the wind. Rowers don't see something worth doing unless it's hard. They climb mountains because they are there. Rowers are great at creating energy when there isn't any around them. Just like Walter White in Breaking Bad, who famously said, "I am the danger," rowers don't look for energy, they are the energy.
Yeah, maybe I'm a rower then. Just because of the line where you said, if there's a mountain, I'm going to climb it. Like, life can be fine, but I'm like, nah, I'm going to find something to do, find something to reach, find something to...
When you look for that opportunity to find something to do you usually take notice of what's around you and what's happening, and then you choose by that? Or do you just have this feeling of like, I need to go do this exactly, and I'm going to go do it?
Yeah, most the latter.
Yeah, so that's, I really pegged you as a rower rather than a sailor.
Oh, thank you. How about you?
Thank you. No, well, what do you think I am?
I think you're a sailor.
You think so? Really? What makes you say that?
Like, at least in your job, and like, I feel like you put the sails, you're like, oh, I'm just gonna sit back, see what happens.
Yeah. Okay, I can see that.
And like ministry too, I feel like in ministry, I'm like, nah, I'm gonna like, like grind or whatever. And I don't, not grind, because I feel like ministry grinding, it seems like you're trying to get somewhere. Mm-hmm. But I see things and I want to change them. And you're just like, if the wind blows that way, I'll get in it. If not, I'm not going to force it.
Yeah, I think there are certain areas in my life where I am a sailor, where I've kind of just like, I'm sitting in the middle of the ocean. I'm just like, hey, wherever the wind takes me, as long as I feel like it's going in the right direction, let's go. And if not, I'll be out there enjoying the day. Like if I'm sitting still in the same piece of ocean, I'm just like, all right, I'm enjoying the sun. I'm enjoying the seagulls. Maybe I'll do a little fishing, whatever, but there's other areas in my life where I'm like, okay, I'm going to take charge. I'm going to do things. And so, yeah, I guess I can be both in different areas.
Yeah, I see that.
Okay, so when it comes to sailors and rowers, would you say that you see off the top, because you didn't read this book, you haven't really thought about it that much. I gave you like a quick outline of this pod. And so off the top, do you see any cons towards sailors?
I mean, if the wind is blowing against what you'd like if you have a set of desires and dreams and things, and then the wind is blowing against that, and you're just like, oh, like, I can't go there anymore. Like, I can't reach that anymore. So you kind of just give up on what you had in mind. I feel like that's a con.
Because when I think about a sailor, and this is leaning to, because I think in every aspect, I mean, we've done like the Enneagram stuff. We've done certain like characteristic traits or whatever. And I think this is no different. I think there's versions of a sailor that are healthy, and there are versions of a sailor that are unhealthy. And I think there's a version of a sailor that is unhealthy in regards to they can easily become complacent because it's wherever the wind takes them. And if the wind takes them nowhere, they are going nowhere. And this brings to mind many, many years ago, I forget what I was like studying or I don't know if I was preparing for like a preaching that I was going to give or something, but I'll never forget. I got this imagery in my head of a person waiting at the bus stop. And I've told you this example before. There's a person waiting at the bus stop. And the reason that they're waiting at the bus stop is because they really they've been thinking about this thing. Let's call it a watch. They really want to buy this watch. And the watch is at a mall. And the mall is, let's call it 20 blocks away. And so they're sitting at this bus stop. And I believe that, again, in this same scenario, there's two people. There's a sailor that goes, I'm going to sit at this bus stop. I have no idea when the bus is going to come. But when it comes, I'm going to jump on it and it's going to take me to that mall. The other person, which is the rower, goes, I'm not going to wait for this bus. I don't know when this bus is coming. I really want that watch. I'm going to just start walking. It's 20 blocks. How long is it going to take me?
That was me in high school to walk everywhere.
And so I think in that type of scenario, when you really want something, I've always had the approach and the stance of go out there and get it. Mm-hmm. Like, why are you waiting? Especially if you don't know what the bus schedule is. Like, you don't even know, like, the buses might be on strike. Like, they might not even be working. You have no idea. And like, it's the same thing with a sailor. Like, you have no idea where the wind is blowing. Especially if you're going with the current of mainstream, if you're going with the current of like where people's opinions are going, where political stances are going, like whatever it is, like you have no idea. And so I've always been on the stance of like I'm always going to be the rower. I'm always going to be the person that just like I'm not waiting for this. Like I'm going to go over there because I see the sailor and I'm like, you're sitting there and you have no idea. You could be there for years waiting for this thing to move.
Yeah.
And so I could see complacency happen. I could also see that the sailors, and this might strike a chord with some people, but the sailors, I feel like, can be in an unhealthy sailor mentality, say, this certain thing, this dream, this goal, this standard that I want to meet has not happened, not because of me, but because everything around me is not lining up. And so it's not my fault. And that's where I see there can be a lack of responsibility on a sailor's part. Because could they whip out the oars and start rowing? 100%. But a sailor is somebody who, a healthy sailor is somebody who sees how everything is moving and begins to strategize. This is where I want to be. And this is where I'm going to use this certain current or wind. And I'm going to get up to here. And then after, I'm going to switch and adapt and catch this wind over here. And I'm going to go over here. They're strategic. Like a sailor can really make things happen. But they are the type of people that go, I want to work smarter and not harder. Right? And you've heard many people say that. Mm-hmm. And that sounds really, really great. But if things are not moving, things around your surrounding, things in your atmosphere are not moving the way that you need them to move for you to progress the way that you want to progress, then what? Right? Mm-hmm. Would you see any, as I'm speaking, would you see any other weaknesses?
Yeah, I think the victim mentality, which is kind of what you're talking about, like, oh, I can't get there because the wind, right? Or because of this. Or just that passivity to the point where like people, maybe because I grew up in the church and I don't know, religion has always been around me. I'm like, oh, God, it's not meant to be then. And just blaming like the higher power when it's the fact that they didn't have the initiative to go after it. Mm-hmm.
And the other thing that I see as well is if you are always catching these winds as a sailor, who's to say that a certain wind won't blow you in the wrong direction? Because again, you are solely depending on the movement of everything. Mm-hmm. And so the sailor goes into a room and says, I have 5 job opportunities. I'm going to pick that one. Just based on what is available to them. It looks shinier, it looks better. I'm going to choose that one. But once you get into that situation, you have no idea what's behind those doors. And again, you could still have that sailor mentality. Now, whatever happens, I'm going to be strategic. And like, there's definitely pros into being a sailor. Like, I feel like sailors are kind of like chess players. They have to be. They have to be able to see different moves and what different moves are going to make other pieces. How these moves are going to make other pieces move. Just like, this is how I'm going to use this momentum. Mm-hmm. This is how I'm going to use these movements and these wins or whatever. Like, they're strategic. They're smart. They're efficient. They have to be patient and they have to trust. Like for you to wait for a win, you have to be patient.
Yeah.
I mean, like, I think me and you, we're like, if we really want something, we're not waiting for a win. Like, we're not going, all right, I'm just going to sit here and impart, and then we're going to get into the rowers. And I'm kind of leaking over into the rowers, but I want to just like fully just capitalize on the sailors. So they're smart, they're efficient, they're strategic, they're patient, they trust. And I could see these people are the type of people that really trust God. God, I'm going to put it in your hands. I'm going to just sit here and wait. And like, okay, I don't want to keep going. I don't want to cross over, but those are the people that go like, I'm going to give this up to you, God. I want these desires. I'm going to give it up to you. When the doors open, I will walk through them. But if they don't open, I will not walk through, you know? And we've heard stories and testimonies like that. Like I gave it to God, and it wasn't until God like opened, he heard my prayer and he opened these doors and bam, it happened. That's amazing. Okay. Let's go to the rowers. What do you think are positives of the rower?
They're, what's that word? Like trailblazers.
Yes. Uh-huh.
They're hard workers. Fearless.
Yes.
They're go-getters, revolutionaries, risk takers.
They're disciplined. And they don't blame circumstances. Why? Because they take circumstances into their hands. So what would you say do you think are cons of the rowers?
You can get burnt out.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, lack of trust in God. You force things that maybe weren't meant for you.
You can be prideful because when things go your way,
it's because you did.
It is so easy for you to fall into, I did all the hard work. You all went that way. I went this way and I made it happen. It is a challenge to be humble as a rower. And so I've heard both sides of this coin. The side of the coin that goes, I'm a sailor. I really want this. I'm going to pray about it. I'm going to deliver it into the hands of God, and I'm just going to wait. But then I've heard words and I've heard testimonies of like, God has given you all the tools to do what he's called you to do, to achieve, dreams, to make things happen, for you to be blessed so you can be a blessing. He's given you all the tools. Go out and do it. It's like, I think it was TD Jakes that I heard, like, many of you guys are praying for a chair. God's like, I've given you trees. Go make the chairs. Like, what are you waiting for? Whereas the sailor would go, well, I'm just going to give it up to God and wait for that chair. It's going to get delivered by Amazon. I don't know, but I'm going to get that chair. Right? And so we've heard both sides of the coin. And so now the question comes to, do you think there is one better than the other?
In my personal opinion, I think not. Because I've never been the one to think of like in black and white. So even then when I was talking about the sailor and the rower in the beginning, I was even hesitant. I was like, oh, kind of a sailor, because I see myself, how you say, like maneuvering the sails and putting in the hard work, but also working with the wind. And so, I don't think, I think they're both, how you said if they're unhealthy, they're both detrimental. I look at a Saul who pride got in the way, forced things into his own hands. He was like, I want the battle won. He was supposed to wait for the offering and was like, nah, I'm doing it my way and failed. And I see a David who was like waited to be appointed king and waited until like God delivered his enemies. And so, but he was also very passive. And even like when his kids, like his daughter was raped by this son, and he was passive and didn't even rebuke his family. So I think in a perfect world, like you need a little bit of both. And society standards, the rower might be more like quote unquote better because you're just like force your way into things and climb the ladder. But you don't even know if I see those as like the CEOs or the celebrities where they then lose everything. And it's like, what does it cost to gain the world? But you lost yourself and you don't trust God. And you just killed all the relationships you had because you just worked hard and never stopped. But on the other hand, I see, people who they're so passive and it's not even called faith because there's no action behind it. And so they're just so passive that all of their promises are spiritually dead and there's no good because they didn't have it. So yeah, they're both very detrimental if not done correctly.
So reading this book, I finished it, and this chapter finally gets into we need to be both. The best thing that you can be, if you want to perform at the highest level, is be both. Because you need to be able to read the times in when you can be a sailor and catch these winds and go be strategic, be smart, be efficient, work smarter, not harder. And there's times where there is nothing happening. And that doesn't mean you should stay complacent, that you should stay in the same spot. Because like you always famously say, when you think that you're staying in the same spot, you're not, you're declining, whether you see it or not. Because the times are always moving forward. So as time moves forward, you're getting older, you're getting slower, you're getting, everything's kind of on the decline. So you're declining.
Yeah.
And so this book basically says like we need to be both. We need to be a sailor and a rower. We need to know when to sail and when to row. And it started making me think, and it started making me think about the responsibility that we have for our life, for the actions that we take. And I feel like nowadays it is very rare for people to take responsibility. I feel like it's so easy for people to blame someone else for why they are where they are. I mean, we see this politically, we see it in society, we see it socially, we see it in all areas of people's lives. And it started making me think like, I think a lot of us want to, I wouldn't say manipulate, but mold our lives to make it the most comfortable. Let me rephrase that. A lot of us want to make our lives as best as possible, as best financially, as best spiritually, as best in family, and best in relationships, as best in our heart, mind, spirit, in all areas of our life. We want it to be the best under a certain cap of comfortability. And I'm just thinking like, we've said it so many times, we believe it, like growth does not happen in your comfort zone. Growth always happens outside your comfort zone. But if you're continuously always trying to mold your life into being the best that it can be under that circle of, or under that umbrella of comfortability, then it's never going to be what you want it to be. And you need to take responsibility for that. And then what I also was thinking was like, so many of us want our life to be this amazing life. But what if it was less about this amazing life and it was more about you taking responsibility of your actions? Like, I feel like a lot of people's they keep hitting a wall. They keep hitting this ceiling that they can't feel like they can't break through because they aren't willing to give up that comfortability. And because they're not willing to take out, like it's a choice of you not willing to go outside of that comfortability. It's a choice that you keep hitting that ceiling, regardless of you saying like, I want to break through that ceiling. I don't know what's going on. I really want this, but I just have no idea. And it's like, look yourself in the mirror. And the crazy thing is, me and you started rereading Total Money Makeover because we're going to be doing a financial tribe group. And so we're just like, hey, let's just reread it, just so we can be sharp on all the things. And in the first chapter, it talks about you need to look yourself in the mirror. Can you look yourself in the mirror and be like, you are to blame? It's not your mom's fault, your dad's fault. It wasn't how you were, your upbringing. It wasn't your kids. It wasn't your uncle, your whatever. It was nobody else's fault but your fault. You are where you are because of you. Because it is so easy for people to go, your fault, your fault, your fault, your fault. And they hide behind this bush of like, it's everybody's fault. It's not mine. Don't even look over here. Like, and for a lot of people, it's justified. You had a rough upbringing. Yeah, so did I. Like, you didn't have any money growing up. Yeah, neither did I. Like, none of it. It only holds power if you let it hold power over you.
Yeah.
And that's like a funny discussion that me and a friend were having about, let's just say people, that every time something is introduced, like, oh, you might have this condition, they go, oh, yeah, that's me. But they make it their identity, and it's like now they're locked up. It's almost like, I see it as almost like, okay, like I'm choosing these cuffs, like put them on me. I want them.
Yeah.
And we've had this conversation before where it's like, is the reason that we're functioning this way just so we can have an excuse of like, well, if I didn't get to that goal, it's because of this right here. And we blame the cuffs. We blame whatever, and just like that's, and then like it makes me think of Joseph in the Old Testament. He had the dad that favored him. The brothers got jealous. They wanted to kill him. They sell him. He goes through these all up and downs. And I admire the story of Joseph. Like, granted, I don't know if there's pieces of this story where we don't see, or like they didn't write about it. I don't know if they didn't think it was relevant or whatever, but like, because you're going through all these things and you never see him, or like you never read that he complained. You never read that he cried out and be like, God, what the heck? Like, you never read any of that. You just read this dude going through from situation to situation. He has really lows, and then he has highs, and then right back down, and then come back up a little bit, come back down. And then to the very end, he gets, the dream that God gave him, like, come true. But the one thing, the constant that I see is like that dude doesn't change. And I feel like, again, like so many things around you can't control. And we've talked about that, and I'll reiterate, like there's so many things in our environment, there's so many things in our surroundings that we cannot control. But what we can control is how we react to all these situations. And so I see Joseph, how he reacts, and he stays linear. Like, his character doesn't diminish. He stays the same. Like, I will serve. Like, I feel like in all of it, it's like, I will serve. Whether he's in Potiphar's house or he's in jail, like whether he gets wronged, whether people lie about him and he gets thrown into jail, like he just like, I'm going to serve. Like, and boom, like years later, obviously, but like he gets put into the place where he dreamt of. And so my point is just, we really need to get to a point, all of us, me, you, the listeners, audience, the world, like everybody needs to get to a point where we can take responsibility for our lives. If we have any inclination of wanting to blame other people, we need to be self-aware enough to stop and be like, I can't do that. Because really what you're doing is you're looking for a reason to stay exactly where you're at. because exactly where you're at has become comfortable for you, even if it's not the greatest of situations. I've babbled on a little bit. I still got more to say, but
No, for sure. I think comparison in social media doesn't make it easy because you only see like the highlights. And so, for example, if you see a successful person and you see them like with money or like fit or something, people are like, oh, look, they make it look easy. And they don't, very rarely do people share like the struggles, like how can you really portray that in a picture and 30-second clip? How can you portray that they're struggling and they're still showing up for themselves daily? Like they have to wake up early, they have to sacrifice, like they're sacrificing something to get it. And so it's so easy to just see people and be like, oh, like that can't be me, right? They wish. And so I think that social media has even made it louder, where like comparison is the thief of joy, and then comparing yourself that you're like, that can never be me, or it heightens. I have seen people like complain on it and play victim on social media, and how you say people kind of just like find something to tie themselves to because it's affirming, which I feel like there is good that comes from affirming. But it's like, what's your goal for that? I think you have to be very intentional. And one of the, I think the bad parts of it is that you can just affirm for affirmation's sake because it feels good, right? And your emotions are like, yes, I'm seen, but what's the goal? Like, do you just want to stop there? And I feel like a lot of people stop there. And how you say like, oh yeah, I have ADHD, or yeah, I have a thyroid condition, or yeah. And it's like, okay, be self-aware to be like, okay, what's the goal now that you know that? Like, what is it to serve you? Mm-hmm. Is it because now you're looking for ways with someone with ADHD, how can they focus, or how can thyroid condition, how now lead a healthy life? Like, are you looking for that? I feel like people just stop there and they don't go that extra mile of like, now that I know this, what can I do? And so I do think people have to go that extra mile, and that does, how you say, it does take intention. It is more effort they have to put in. It's so easy to be a sailor and go with the flow and say, this works for everyone, so I'm going to follow this path. Oh, but wait, I'm labeled this. It doesn't work for me. Oh, I can't do anything about it. I'm just stuck here, right? Versus, oh, this works for everyone. Oh, it doesn't work for me. What can I do? Let me take out my oars and figure out it's not working for me, so now I'll have to put extra time. Right? Like in my case, I was for a bit, like I found out I had diastasis recti, and I was for a bit using it.
That's a great example.
Like, oh, I have diastasis recti, I can't do that. And the fact is that I couldn't. Like, I kept seeing videos and hearing stories of like people getting hernias through it, and it would like scare me. And so any little thing I felt from my stomach, like it was a foreign feeling, I was like, I have diastasis recti. And like I knew people weren't gonna judge me because they're like, oh, she has that. I haven't had that before. I don't know what that is. And so like I was rowing and trying to live healthy until I was like, I found myself again blocked by the current or whatever. And I was like, that doesn't work for me. I could have stayed there and be like, oh, I have diastasis recti. It feels good to like be, be prescribed this, or be at least told this, diagnosed. And it took a lot of effort. Like I had to call so many places and so many physical therapists, you'd be shocked, like didn't know what it was, be like, something's wrong with your back. And I'd be like on the verge of tears one day because I was like, I called 15 people today and they don't know what this is, or like they can't help me. And it was like days of trying to find someone who can take my insurance for this freaking cause. Like it wasn't easy. And that's where we have to take out the oars and be like, okay, like I'm going to make a way.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I found a way. And once I found a physical therapist who knew about it, I was like unstoppable, but I could have let it like stop me and just be like, well, no one around me has this. No one knows how to fix it. Whatever. Exactly.
I think that's a great example. And yeah, you have choices of who do you want to be? And that's a great thing, is that we can be both.
Yeah.
And if we feel like we're lacking in one area, like, okay, let's practice. Cause I feel like in most cases, I'm more of a rower. So like I personally probably need to practice more of like, how do I catch these currents? How do I catch these winds? And how do I, you know, have my strategy to be able to use that and know when to row and when to sail. But yeah, that example is great. And with anybody who's diagnosed with anything, like I always believe you have a choice. And that's one of the things that I learned with the life of Joseph is like he had a choice every single situation he had a choice. And I feel like through his story, how it is written, seems like he always chose to have integrity. He always chose to be who God called him to be. And like whenever you're diagnosed with something, whenever life throws a curveball, like you have a choice. What are you going to do?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I had a crossroads when I had this like injury with the marathon. Just like I could have, like at first I'm like, I'm cooked, I'm done, like I'm not gonna do this. And then I went to the physical therapist and they're like, we think you might be able to do it and yada, yada, yada. And so I'm like, okay, well, the wind is kind of taking me this way where it's like, you're going to be able to do it. But regardless, I got to do my own rowing. Like I have to go now put in the work. I have to do these PT exercises. I have to actually still go out and run and see how far I can run without pain and so on and so forth. Like I need to make certain things happen. And again, I had the choice. Which road am I going to take? Am I going to take the road of like, I'm just going to quit and I'm just going to lose the $265 and I'm just going to whatever, I'll just do it next year, I guess. Like just boom, walk away. Or am I going to, which the route that I took, but I had the other choice of like, no, you can work through it and it's probably going to hurt more than it probably should, but then you can do it, you can do it.
Yeah.
And that is integrity to myself, like of who I am. Because I don't think that I could know that it was a possibility for me to do it and not even try. You know, like my ankle has to be like bad or whatever, you know, for me to like not be able to do something or whatever. Like it's got to be something great for me to finally just be like tap out. But in all of this, what I'm trying to say is two things. We need to learn how to be a sailor and a rower. We need to see the pros and the cons of each. We need to be self-aware. We need to, if you have a spouse, have that spouse, you know, help you stay accountable, check in, see where you're at, see if you're being a healthy version of yourself. But also just understand that there's things in our life that we cannot control. Yeah. But what we can control is how we react to these situations. And how we react to these situations is really what is in our heart. Like what is in our heart is always going to leak out in the stressful situations when life throws the curveballs. Like whether you like it or not. Like take a person, say they really want something and they ask you for whatever it is that they want and you tell them no. Like it's kind of a stressful situation. How they react is what they have inside and it might leak out. It might be like understanding, like, all right, you know, I appreciate it. You even considering it. Or they might burst out and you're just like, oh, like that's a lot of weird stuff coming out of you, you know? Like, so in those stressful situations, who you really are, what's inside of your heart is going to come out. And so if what's coming out is not the prettiest, then you need to start like reflecting, like how can I change this? What can I do? How can I go from unhealthy to healthy, you know, like, but what we all really need to do is take responsibility. We are where we are because of the actions that we've taken. Plain and simple. I go to an example of my father. He grew up with 19 brothers and sisters. He obviously did not get a lot of love. And when it came down to him having a family, I know that he loved his kids. I know that he loved his family, but it was very hard for him to show that through words, through action, through like emotionality, really. But again, I believe that he had a choice because I also had an emotionally absent father. But if you look at both people in the similar situations and you see how they both chose a path, I'm like, I always say, like, I always overcompensate. And I'll always, like, you know, say beautiful words to the kids and kiss them and hug them and so on and so forth. And so my point is, like, we always have a choice which road we're going to go down. We need to take responsibility. We need to look ourselves in the mirror and be like, we are where we are because of you. And now if we don't like where we're at, then it's our responsibility to take ownership of it and make the right choices, be disciplined. In moments, be a rower, and in moments, be a sailor. And I think God has given us all these tools to be able to make the most of ourselves, to, again, be blessed, to be a blessing to others.
I agree.
Is there anything that you'd add?
No, I think that's good.
Perfect. Well, that was today's episode. The next time that we meet, we will be talking about how the marathon went. And I will be telling you guys if I crossed the line or not. And
No, you will.
I have to. Again, whether I'm rolling, whether I'm crawling, whether I'm walking, either way, whether it's at 6 p.m. in the evening, I will be crossing that finish line. So the next time that we speak to you guys, we will both be marathoners.
That's crazy.
That is crazy. I would say pray for us, but by the time that this comes out, we'll be already done.
But yeah, hopefully you guys saw, like, our Instagram updates of, at least I want to update everyone.
Yeah, for sure. And yeah, we hope that this episode blessed you. We hope that you guys are taking it in, meditating on it, maybe speaking to a friend about it, maybe speaking to a family member, having conversations. That's what this all is about, for you to guys have conversations, dig deeper into these topics, come to your own conclusion. And honestly, we're always praying for you guys to always choose to be better every single day. So we will see you guys on the next one.
Bye.
Goodbye.